Welcome back to CoinLady channel, where we'll be bringing you all the latest and greatest in XRP happenings. Those waiting for a decision in the Ripple SEC lawsuit have regularly voiced their anxiety that Judge Torres will not provide a definitive verdict on the fate of XRP. The public is worried about the prospect of a trial. However, I'd like to bring up a new point that was just brought to my attention, and I want to share it with you in this video because I think it's vital for all of you to see. After watching this, I am confident that you'll be even more confident than before that Judge Torres will rule on XRP. There's a fantastic movie I stumbled into today that will get you more thrilled than ever about Ripple and XRP. So I hope you can stick around for the whole thing. It's possible that in their haste to find a solution, many people have neglected to consider the secondary effects of their actions. Since I believe that Ripple has the potential to become one of the world's most valuable companies. At the end of this film, I hope to show you how formidable an enterprise XRP can become in the coming years. I'd want to start by discussing an extremely important matter. In this case, the question is whether or not XRP will be deemed legitimate by Judge Torres. There has been some discussion in the XRP community about whether or not Judge Torres will rule on all of the cases at summary judgment. Therefore, this is a topic of crucial importance. The notion that XRP is a security is a contentious one, and I've heard many conflicting opinions from local attorneys on either side of the issue. Let me briefly discuss a few more issues before I go into one of my favorite arguments. Attorney Fred pointed out that trials involving individual XRP sales are far more likely than sales involving XRP as a collective. Fred, Ripple's attorney, argued convincingly that it would be difficult to bring this matter to trial because John D was one of the 75,000 XRP holders engaged, and all the parties have written amicus papers in favor of Ripple. Even if Ripple wasn't involved, the current scenario is really complex. But think about the fact that 75,000 XRP holders and John D were at the courtroom. The jury wouldn't be able to keep up with the roughly 20 distinct parties that filed amicus curiae documents. The judge definitely is not going to want that to happen. It would be foolish and very difficult to try to explain these challenges to a jury in court, so I think it's quite probable that Judge Torres would decide on XRP in the secondary market before the case goes to trial. It's also crucial to remember that the question of whether or not XRP is a security is ultimately one of law, and it can be interpreted without the need for a jury. Whether or not a contract exists between Ripple and XRP holders determines whether or not XRP is a security. However, Judge Torres would have little trouble deciding whether or not a certain transaction constituted the sale of a security. The other is to have a jury decide. But either way, it's very easy for XRP to be a security on its own. Also, I agree with you that Sherry has a valid point here. She said that the judge's apparent ease in deciding the library's destiny without a trial should give us pause to think that Judge Torres would be unable to do the same. This is a really valid statement, in my opinion. Even though he didn't know much about crypto, the judge in the library token case was able to make a ruling. In spite of his claim that the token alone did not constitute a security, he assured me that Judge Torres would be capable of coming to the same judgment. Judge Torres has already proven her expertise in the field of cryptocurrency by allowing a man who knew little about the subject to successfully argue his case without the assistance of a jury. Since she has known from the beginning that XRP has real-world utility, Judge Torres should find it very easy to rule that XRP is not a security, just as the SEC has already ruled that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. She has already given some hints that she intends to carry this out, and I think she'll ultimately want to make that choice for herself. Since she has already done the research and voiced support for Ripple, she will not want to bring this to a jury that may not even know what a cryptocurrency is. I think she's just putting the finishing touches on her ruling so that the SEC has a hard time appealing. I'm confident that she'll give it her all because she knows this is one of the most important crypto cases in history. For the reasons we've outlined, I find that highly improbable. Consequently, I'm not overly concerned that she will ultimately choose XRP. A digital asset investor has just lately made a fantastic film available to me, and I want to share it with you. You absolutely must check this out if you're a part of the XRP community. After being slowed down by the Ripple SEC case, I'm confident that Ripple will soon rank among the most significant enterprises in the world. Thus, it is important that we have a thorough understanding of the power of what Ripple is building. However, after seeing these videos, you'll have a much better understanding of what sets Ripple apart from other software firms and startups, why our banking system is about to face a massive transformation because of Ripple, and why Ripple has the potential to be the most significant company in the world. What are your plans for distributing the leftover XRP? Invest a lot of thought into this. To what methods will the remaining portions of the test be dispersed? Oh, really? In a word, yes. That's a reasonable inquiry to have. and I'm not sure if we'll ever be able to give it all out. I can imagine a scenario in which we become more of a lender of last resort. However, this role seems out of place for a software company, so perhaps we'd need to make some adjustments to our internal structure or adopt a new organizational structure. But as these capital markets mature and liquidity grows, there will be others who want to facilitate transactions in the asset but are wary of really owning any of it. In terms of price changes, we still need the infrastructure, potentially to prevent another financial disaster, even after 10 years. I believe this is where digital assets may be most useful, as a highly functional digital asset has the potential to address some of the most pressing issues with global liquidity. You know, the world has trillions and trillions of dollars tied up in liquidity just to get around how clumsy the movement of value around the world is, if with a really efficient digital assets, something like X or XRP, and that's what we believe will be the most efficient, you can now release trillions and trillions of dollars in capital that had previously been trapped, without needing to preposition funds throughout the world. Financial institutions, payment processors, and businesses can make instantaneous international wire transactions. So, it really is that easy. If there's one thing I want everyone here to take away with them, it's that Ripple isn't your typical business. We're not trying to corner a niche industry or do X, Y, or Z and make a pittance. We came to make a difference. Either we will alter the remittance cosmos and how you perceive the movement of wealth around the globe and among individuals and organizations, or we will be forgotten. Therefore, it's quite close to 0 or 1. The haughtiness of our Silicon Valley neighbors certainly doesn't help, as something they intended to be the world's reserve currency for, rather than a rare and expensive commodity. Last but not least, resilience is a crucial quality of a robust liquid market, and that's getting at the market's resilience in the face of a shock to the system. So, even if there was a market shock, order books could quickly return to normal and prices would be close to where they were before the shock. Given the importance of these factors to a liquid market, is it possible that Ripple may eventually replace SWIFT? Well, I believe that what we do and carry out on a daily basis is rapidly becoming the norm. We've signed up over 100 financial institutions, including some of the largest SWIFT-enabled banks in the world, because ever since reading the white paper on XRP consensus mechanism, I've been convinced that it has game-changing potential. And I've had chats with Chris Larson and Arthur and David around the notion that it is, I think, revolutionary software that we kind of make our best effort to get it to where it belongs and where it deserves to be. It's quite neat to be a part of a group that has that goal in mind and is working to achieve it by doing something that has never been done before. If digital assets like XRP and Bitcoin can find their place in the middle, they can serve as a kind of lubricating oil that facilitates the distribution of the Big Four to consumers around the world, much like the Singapore dollar or the Swiss franc. Keep in mind that I'm from the legal department, so let's proceed with extreme caution here. I don't want to bore you with the specifics of the steps we should do together. For that to occur, I believe we can rush into submission with that one. To comply with the existing regulatory structure, some nation will inevitably choose a crypto asset as its official medium of exchange. These videos show that Ripple is not your normal business. They have connections to some of the world's most powerful people and organizations. Plus, they can go places that the rest of us can't. I've been here from the beginning of this company. The sheer magnitude of Ripple's network has always floored me. This further convinces me that we are not dealing with a run-of-the-mill enterprise. Rather, their efforts will one day have a noticeable impact on the cosmos. Thank you so much for watching, people. I trust you found this update interesting. Subscribe and give it a thumbs up if you did. See you in the next one. Bye.